the Higgs the highest one?
No, top quark. Well, actually, the other interesting thing, which isn't really for the scope of this lecture, but one of the things that we had noticed is the distance from the Higgs boson to the Z boson and the top quark seems to be the same magnitude. So basically, if whatever factor you divide the Higgs by to get down to the Z boson's mass, if you multiply it by that same factor, it looks like it's the same factor. And I think, what was the factor I used? I think it's literally to go from the Higgs, so mass of Higgs to the Z boson. I think it literally is a factor of, I think it's E 1 over pi. Or e raised to 1 over pi. And I forget if I either need to multiply or divide by that, but that coincidentally gets you to the Z boson within 1 standard deviation of error bars, as well as it fits the more recent measurements of the top quark pretty well. And I have no idea if that's a thing. I've seen that before, but I'm like, okay, how can I justify it? Because I'm trying to match the data as well as I can. I had some other factors. The other thing that kind of got me to that is ultimately I actually was using AI and actually like ChatGPT with the Wolfram plugin and stuff because some notation is, I'm not a mathematician, so if it could explain it clearly to me. So basically when you calculate the self-interaction of the Higgs boson, when I did plug in the number from the shirt here, it gave me a Higgs self-interaction, or at least the best fit to the number of decimal places it output. So the H not self, so it's self-interaction. The best fit I found was 3 over e to the pi. So e to the pi coincidentally happens to be the factor for all even unit dimension hyperspheres. And I'm like, let's divide by 3. I'm just like, I'm like, okay, that's an interesting thing. And again, that is assuming there's some there with this calculation, but it matches for I think 5, 6 decimal places, something like that. So because the main thing I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find something we can latch onto with a high confidence that has maximal explanation value, and then because if we can latch onto like some mathematical constant, then we should be able to backtrack and just double check ourselves. And it's multiple layers of being able to check.